Hi, church family. Pastor Eric here with today's Word from the Word. And as I have been working through this series along with you in 1 Corinthians 7, and I've been thinking a lot about marriage and what God calls us to in marriage. So, as we talked about on Sunday, we're talking about being a light to one another and being servants of one another and caring about other people more than ourselves. And it reminded me about the fact that sometimes we have unrealistic expectations about our marriages. We get married, we're at the altar, and we think things are going to be great all the time. We have a perception in our mind that it's all going to be rosy, and we're always going to be in love with the other person, and we're always going to feel romantic feelings, and it's just going to be like they show in movies and like they show in TV programs. But that's not the reality. Anybody who's been married for any length of time knows better than that. And in the passage, Paul says that it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. What matters is keeping God's commands. Now, here's why that's important. It's important because there's going to be times when you don't feel like it. If you base your relationships on feelings, those feelings will come and go. It happens in any relationship you have, and especially in marriage, where what really keeps marriages together, what makes grandma and grandpa stay together for 50, 60, 70 years, it's the commitment to each other. It's the commitment to marriage. It's the commitment to be servants of one another, even if they're not perfect at it. Even if one is better at it than the other one, they are still committed to one another. I've watched that play out in just numerous occasions. And what I love is that marriage that is truly mature is one that embraces more than just feelings of romanticism. It's feelings of friendship. Friendship is where these great things occur, where people look at each other and they know what they're thinking. They know what they like and what they don't like. And that's because they spent time together. They talked together. And they became friends as well as husband and wife. That the idea of friendship is an indispensable part of being in a good marriage. So I want to encourage you. Keeping God's commands means being committed to one another. It means choosing to say, you know what, I'm gonna serve you even if I don't feel like you're being grateful. I'm going to be loving towards you even if you haven't been loving towards me. And sometimes it means we retreat to God for prayer and for strength because we're not feeling it that day or that month or sometimes that year. Something that I've shared before, and it was very interesting, is that it's kind of a personal note here and one that I want to use to illustrate this whole point. Early in our marriage, we were having a rough time. In all truthfulness, I was immature. I was being selfish. I took my wife for granted. And I remember having a big disagreement with her at one point, with my lovely bride. And she actually made a confession that really made me sit up and take notice. She goes, "Do you understand that I'm no longer in love with you? I love you, but I don't have feelings of love towards you. And in fact, the only reason I'm still married is because God calls me to be married." And I remember thinking that I was stunned. I couldn't believe that she would say that, but she was being truthful. She was saying, I'm committed to you, I still serve you, I still do all the right things and the good things, but I do it because I love God, not because I'm in love with you. And it struck my heart that I needed to repent of my selfishness and my sinfulness, and I spent the next year and a half to 2 years really working hard at becoming a better husband, becoming a better servant, becoming more involved in her life and what she liked. And I remember having an anniversary dinner together about 2 years later, and it did my heart good when she looked at me and said, "I wanted to tell you something. You have won my heart back. I am in love with you again because I've seen how you've changed. And I was committed to you no matter what, but I love what you've been doing, and I feel these incredible feelings towards you once again." And I realized, and I prayed, and thank God, I said, thank you. It was a long, hard path to win her heart back, one where I had to persevere and choose to do the right things, even when I didn't feel like it. But I had her heart once again, and I resolved that I didn't want to lose it anymore. that I would seek continually to work to win her love and to win her respect. I've done better sometimes than others, and we have been through places where we have been better, places where we've been worse. But the truth is that being committed to one another and choosing to serve in spite of our feelings is what has made our marriage one that we look at and say, it's great. We're having a great time. It's not perfect, but it's wonderful. So I want to encourage you, if you're going through a difficult time, choose to obey God's commands. Choose to be committed. And see if it doesn't bear fruit later on. I don't know what that fruit would look like. I don't know what the timing would look like on it. But choose to believe God and His principles. I hope this helps. It's helped me a lot in my marriage. God bless you. Have a great rest of the week.